She wasn't supposed to survive the fall. She wasn't supposed to feel anything at all. But when Daniel Reyes pulled her out of the wreckage, half buried in snow, her eyes opened, and for the first time in her existence, she hesitated to complete her mission. Somewhere inside her, a number was waiting. One coordinate, the location that would end everything. Daniel Reyes wasn't a soldier, a scientist, or a hero. He was a mountain ranger who'd spent the last 3 years alone, patrolling the same frozen ridge in northern Montana, running from a life he no longer wanted to think about. That night, the sky above the mountains split open, not with lightning, but with something that felt too slow to be a meteor and too fast to be a plane. When he reached the crash site, he expected wreckage. He didn't expect a woman. Her skin shimmered faintly under the moonlight, veins of pale blue light running beneath it like circuitry. She wasn't human, but she was breathing. Daniel brought her back to his cabin, telling himself it was the only decent thing to do. He didn't know that decision had already changed the outcome of a war being fought light years away. A war Earth didn't even know it was part of. The woman, who would only ever answer to the name Vera, wasn't a visitor. She was a weapon, engineered by a collective known only as the Continuum, designed to locate a single coordinate on Earth's surface, a location tied to an ancient signal buried deep beneath the Pacific. Once found, that coordinate would be transmitted home, and once transmitted, Earth's fate would no longer belong to its people. For days, Vera said almost nothing. She watched Daniel with a kind of clinical distance, studying him the way a surgeon studies an X-ray. But something about the cabin, the quiet, the way he changed her bandages without asking for anything in return, began to interfere with her programming. She started asking questions she wasn't built to ask. Why do you live alone? Why did you save something you don't understand? Meanwhile, 30 miles south, unmarked helicopters began sweeping the ridgeline. Not local police, not the National Guard. Something else. A black-budget task force that had been tracking anomalous signals for 6 years, waiting for exactly this kind of arrival. Then came the night Vera told him the truth. She wasn't lost, she wasn't stranded, she had crash-landed while actively searching for the coordinate, and she had already found it. It was less than 40 miles from where they stood. All she had to do was transmit it, and within 72 hours, an extraction fleet would arrive to begin what the Continuum called reclamation. Daniel asked her the only question that mattered. Why hadn't she sent it yet? Vera didn't have an answer that fit inside her programming. For the first time, she wasn't following orders. She was choosing. But choosing came with consequences neither of them expected, because the Continuum didn't send weapons without a fail-safe. If Vera didn't transmit within the window, another asset would be deployed to finish what she started. And that asset was already descending through the atmosphere, colder, faster, and without any of Vera's hesitation. The second craft came down not in the mountains, but directly over the small town at the base of the ridge. The town where Daniel had grown up, where people he still knew were sleeping through what they thought was just another cold night. Vera made her decision in the space of a heartbeat. She couldn't stop the failsafe from arriving, but she could stop it from succeeding, racing against a machine built with the same purpose she once had. Vera didn't fight to destroy it. She fought to buy time, giving Daniel the one thing the Continuum never accounted for, a human being who refused to run. Together, using nothing but a damaged signal disruptor Vera had rebuilt from cabin wiring and scrap metal, they didn't defeat an empire. They didn't need to. They only needed to break one transmission for one night in one place. And they did. The fail-safe unit went dark over the ridge, its systems failing before it ever reached the town below. Vera survived, but she would never be what she was built to be again. And she didn't want to be. Daniel never told anyone what really happened that winter. Some nights, he still watches the sky, knowing the Continuum hasn't forgotten the coordinate exists. It's still out there. But now, so is she. No longer a weapon aimed at Earth, but the first line standing between it and everything still watching from the dark. If this story pulled you in, let us know your thoughts in the comments.